Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New View podcast. My name is Mac.
And my name is Megan.
Come along with us as we dive into the world of competitive Irish dancing and beyond.
Sharing perspectives, developing community, and learning from each other.
We hope you enjoy.
We are so excited to be talking to Una Harrigan today. Una has been involved in the Irish dancing world her whole life, and in recent years has built an amazing platform for honest conversations around dancing. Through relatable content and fun videos, Una has created a community of dancers where people find belongingness and connection. What Una has built is incredibly unique because we often find that honest and open conversations are not being had in the dancing world. We feel really lucky to have Una on New View today and learn more about her journey and what she's found through dancing. With that, Una, can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Oh yeah, my name is Una Harrigan. I have been involved in Irish dance since I was 6 years old. Initially attracted to dance because I loved the sparkly dresses. And then when I started learning dance itself, that's when I actually started to like the dancing. So I started competing, I guess what some may say is a later age. I was 10 when I did my first fesh. I then was seriously involved from 10 to around 19 when retired. I went to Worlds 4 times and never recalled. And then I retired, went to college, did college Irish dance, which was very fun. I did that for 4 years at Boston College. And then I guess I just couldn't stay away from it. So I've still found ways to stay involved in dance, even though, I just have a normal, Excel Outlook job. I still find time for dance.
That's
That's
really cool.
awesome. Yeah, well, I just love hearing about your story. And what I really love about your story is that, you became involved in Irish dancing kind of like a lot of us do and had your story in Irish dancing, but you're still, maybe it's not the most conventional way, but you're like, no, I still love this thing and I still want to do it. And I love going through your Instagram and seeing your dancing videos and they genuinely make me laugh and make me smile because they're so relatable, I think, to so many people's dancing experience and like they genuinely make me laugh out loud almost more than anything on Instagram because it's just like, oh my gosh, that's such a true thing for Irish dancers or whatever. And I think it's cool to see somebody um have a creative outlet through Irish dancing in a way that's maybe a little less conventional or the way that a lot of people do it. And I think it's really inspiring in that way. And then I also find it super inspiring that, you retired from competing, went away to college, and you're still doing it in your own way. And that gives me a lot of comfort. And I would imagine it gives a lot of other older dancers comfort and inspiration too, in the sense of you don't have to just be done when you're done feshing and competing
Yes.
in that way. There's a lot of ways to still stay involved. I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about how sort of your sense of community in the world of Irish dancing has developed from, the time that you were actually competing and feshing to maybe where it is now with all of your social media and everything.
Okay, so my community within the dance world has grown so much. I mean, now I feel like I have a community, which is so ironic because when I was really in my competitive years, I was very much a loner. Like, I was so anxious and shy. I did not make friends. I had no long distance friends. I had no friends. I had one friend from my dance school. We were the two, I guess, the more quiet ones. I didn't make friends at dance. I had my competitors who I was friendly with. Like, I'd go to competitions, I'd say hi, good luck, good job in your set, but it didn't extend anything beyond that. So in that sense, when I would see all these stories about kids who, they're talking about all their long distance friends and they're so excited for their Oireachtas outfits because then they can go do fun things with their friends, and I'm like, what friends? I'm And part of the reason I didn't have friends was my own anxiety because I felt like I was so different than the other dancers. I felt like there was something wrong with me. So as a result, I did not put myself out there. I did, and that stopped me from making connections with other dancers because I'm like, and one thing with that is I think there felt like there was a divide between dancers like myself, maybe the locally successful but not successful on a world level dancers, and then the top in the world. It felt like they were in a different league. Like they were, oh, why would I talk to them? They don't want to talk to a loser like me. Like that was how I felt. And then at the same time, I also felt like dancers, let's say, who were less successful than me, I was also intimidated by them because I was like, oh, well, they probably like have an active social life at school. They probably are like really popular. And so I just felt like I was this in the middle place where it's like I didn't have anything to relate to because it's like I didn't have a normal high school experience. So I couldn't relate to people who maybe took dance less seriously. But also I felt like I wasn't accomplished enough that like other dancers I competed with would want anything to do with me. So in a way I kind of self-isolated. So yeah, literally one friend that I was really close with. And so when I started posting on Instagram, I did not know what I have now would ever happen. In fact, it just started out as what I thought was a temporary, I guess, like passion project. Um, there was like this fundraiser for cancer research that was a bike ride. Um, and I was like, there was this email that's like encouraged you to do creative things. And I'm like, well, I know my uncle loves riding bikes, so he would probably want to do this bike ride, but then I could do this dance thing. So that was what I started out. I thought it was like, oh, I'm gonna, raise some money for cancer research, just do some dancing for a few months. But after that ended, I felt like I just I'm I needed to keep doing something with dance. So that's when I started, I guess just happened over time, like the stories, the the memes, the yeah, so what was really interesting with that was I first was honestly very nervous to post any sort of real experience because, in my experience as a competitor, and I imagine this is also the same for so many dancers, there is a lot of pressure of feeling like you cannot speak the truth. Like there is just a standard, you know, I worked hard, I listened to my teacher, and then my dreams came true. And let's say if you have an alternate experience where maybe you did exactly that and your dreams did not come true, well then the thing you're supposed to say is I worked my hard and did my best, but this didn't happen. It's okay, I'm dancing for the love of it. It's like the Irish dance world, it's so people have are very hostile towards any sort of what they deem negativity. And what they call negativity, I call reality that is not sugar coated and yeah, just not overly forced positivity. Because I think, and I fell into that forced positivity mindset for so long, and it led me to absolutely hate dance because I suppressed everything that bothered me. And then I just like, it all came out once, and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I hate dance. Turns out I did not hate dance. There were a lot of things that were a problem within my environment that I ignored because I took in all the like, oh, well, if I'm not happy with this, then it's my fault. Like, oh, I should just be grateful. Like, all this. So then when I kind of posted a little bit about it, the response was overwhelming. Like the amount of people who reached out was insane. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, interesting. So then I
Yeah.
just kept writing. And as I hear more stories from dancers, I'm more inspired to keep writing about this stuff. And it really has changed my perspective, just all the conversations I've had. And so, like, some of these things that I thought were just crazy ideas, they turned into real friendships. Some random person on the internet, like, responding to me, like, oh, how they related to this post turns into conversations, turns into, oh, did you ever think of going to this competition? Turns into meeting people in real life and then becoming actual friends outside of dance. So right now, I can say, like, I have multiple of my close friends who are people that I met through something as seemingly silly as a Kilkenny race horsey meme, which it's just wild. And it was so mind-blowing because what I post, like, that's me. That's just me in my most unfiltered, nonsensical stream of consciousness mode. And seeing people see that and like me, that was mind blowing. I'm like, oh, wait, people actually like me? Like, what?
Yeah,
So,
well, I have so many questions that are like popping up as you're
yes,
saying
yes,
this, and
ask
I'm just
me.
like, I love all this. So one thing that just keeps coming to mind is like, it sounds like, the first part of your sort of dancing career did feel quite isolating and it felt like kind of alone. But what you've actually been able to do with your social media platform is actually like use that experience as sort of a springboard for connecting, ironically, with other people. It's like that experience that you had, you've kind of been able to sort of like relate to other people in your experience of it that maybe because other people are also feeling that isolation, it hasn't been talked about as much. And so now, like with your social media, it's like this platform that you can use to find that sense of connection. And I do really agree with you. I think what I really like about your posts and the one you were referring to it, I actually jotted it down because I was like, yeah, I really resonate with that. Is the one of it's you're kind of talking about, well, I went to this competition and I didn't get the outcome that I was going for. Like I didn't achieve my goal, but like it's okay because I was doing it for the love of it and I danced my heart out and I was just
Yes.
loving what I was.
Oh, dance your heart out.
Yeah, and
That word.
I think like I don't think, oh, there's no value in just like dancing for the love of it. Like I do think there is value in dancing for the love of it, but it doesn't also mean that you're not allowed to be disappointed or that like the
Absolutely.
flip side isn't also still there. Like and I agree with you, like there is this really over focus on positivity sometimes and always seeing things for the best and like that's great and it has its place, but I also think you're right. Like if we only ever do that, I think we are setting ourselves up for a little bit of burnout, and all of a sudden just going like, this isn't even real anymore. Like I can't fake this anymore. And I
Oh,
think it's
totally.
important to have the real conversations and, the community and the connections are essential in order to have those conversations
Oh,
and
for sure.
relate to one another. So I love your content for that reason.
Yeah,
Um,
that just made me think of something. So as we were talking about, like, the dance for the love of it, I I hate that term just because of the way in which it has been weaponized against me to try to make me something I'm not.
hmm,
So in theory, dance for the love of it. That is a good way to think. Because let's say there's someone who, like, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to show up at class. They just want to win. but then they get mad when they don't win, but they also don't want to do the work. In that case, it's like, well, if you want to just dance for fun, that's fine, but you can't expect to do well. But dance for the love of it has different meanings for different people. For some people, it might just be, the social aspect of it and just dancing for fun and not caring how they place. That is a fine way to approach it if that's what you want. For other people, dancing for the love of it is the love of the intensity and the process itself. I was one of those dancers.
Hmm.
I was when I competed, I would say like obsessively detail oriented. That was where my strength was. I loved picking apart my dances and just I loved the challenge of it, like the always pushing myself to be a better dancer. For me, that was the love of it. It was the challenge. So, pretty much a little backstory here. This was back in 2012, so a long time ago. But we had a workshop teacher that one year, and just the attention to detail, the little pieces of my dances that were corrected, things that they're so subtle that you wouldn't know it just from watching a video, like things you need to be taught. I left that workshop with a notebook filled with several pages of every little piece of my dance to pick apart. And I was thriving. I was so happy. I was loving dance so much because I always had something to work on. Now, later on in my dance career, I was getting really frustrated because I was stagnating. I was just staying the same. I'm like, you know what? I didn't recall once. Okay. Didn't recall twice. Okay. Three times. Okay. Now I'm annoyed. Four times. Okay. But for me, the issue, it wasn't, I think I was misunderstood there, and that the issue wasn't about the placing. It was that my dancing was not improving and I wasn't given guidance on how to push it to the next level. And when my honest request for like I really want to know, like I know I'm not at the top. I know I might never be. We have no control over that. What I really desired was to train as if to train like someone who wants to be the best and see where it takes me. In other words, be given all the tools I needed to reach my full potential. I wanted to always improve my dancing, but that was kind of seen as, I suppose, entitlement, maybe just being ungrateful. So when the response to that was something along the lines of, rather angry, you should be dancing for the love of it, because me wanting to keep pushing my dancing to the next level was apparently not loving it. It's like I did not enjoy just showing up and going through the motions. Like that was not fun to me. That was incredibly frustrating and a waste of my time. So for me, dancing for the love of it is the love of the challenge, the love of always having it. I don't know. It's like let's say a set dance, for example. It's like this thing you have in front of you, and like the process of picking apart all of the pieces and then putting them back together and gradually working on it and trying to make it a little better each time. Like that is what I loved. I didn't
Mhm.
love just showing up and doing a Kilkenny races and like
Because
yeah, just showing up and doing it. And so then I was kind of shot down, like, you should be dancing for the love of it. So many people would love to be in your position. And it's like, but what I love is the process of working on new skills, of improving, of always trying to be better. And I guess that was not an acceptable way of dancing for the love of it. And by wanting to keep improving, that was kind of like, oh, well, you must only be in it for the placements. You're not dancing for the love of it. It's like, Well, right now I'm not because I'm not getting what I love about it out of dance. So that's a kind of thing. It's like there are so many of these inspirational types of quotes. In theory, they're good, but they rely on people being in kind of an ideal environment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm sure so many dancers can agree with that. To bring it back to what you were saying earlier, my I was just like lighting up with things to ask you. I think
Yeah.
you're just like the perfect person to have on New View because we really enjoy having honest conversation, and Mac and I are two people who like do really love Irish dance in our own unique, weird ways.
Yes.
Um, but I really connected with what you were saying, kind of with the like rhetoric around how we behave in Irish dancers
Mhm.
as dancers. There's not really space to share what we deem as negative, whether it's negative
Yes.
or not. It might just be your real experience.
Yes.
I really connected too with what you were saying in terms of like, I haven't really found my place. I don't yet. I would love to like connect with that good group of like top people, and I don't quite fit the like just for fun group, but I'm just kind of alone in that. I definitely had that experience.
Hmm.
And I like distinctly remember being like, wow, I just like I don't have a group in dance because I really
Hmm.
care about this. I'm not just like showing up to talk to my friends, but I'm not like good enough and I don't belong in the like really good group yet.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I remember thinking like, oh, these people are like a different breed of human than me.
Yes.
I'm not like that same human, so I can't like I can't mix with them. And I remember actually like how I became connected with Mac was kind of like reaching out on a limb. To me, she was always that like inspiration, like, oh my gosh, she must be like this perfect person that I like could never
Yes.
be. And I reached out to her for like help and because I wanted to be like that and I didn't know what to do, you know, you're just kind of on your own in the dance world.
Hmm.
Unless you go to a school with like tons of world champions, which most people don't, you don't know what to do. So I remember reaching out to her and like we initially got to know each other and right away I was like, oh my gosh, she's like a human. She's like a normal person. Like we're both like afraid and having these like worries, but we also love these things about dance. And I think as we can work to be open and honest and share the negative side of dance or the hard experiences, it creates less of a divide between all of those sectors. It's fine to,
Hmm.
if you're approaching dance in like the super intense way or the not intense way, but to realize that these people are also human and have struggles, you just know nothing about it because we've created an environment where no one talks about it. Like I would never know that top dancers struggle with certain things because lots of the time you think they're just this breed that you are not. Like you are not one of
Oh,
them because we just don't share and we
absolutely.
don't talk about it. And I think your content is doing a really nice job of engaging so many different types of dancers. Like I'll see amazing multi-time like world champions that I admire reposting your stuff and I'm like, "Whoa, they had this experience too." And I'll think like, "Wow,
Yeah.
it's cool honestly to be like, "Oh, it just makes everyone more human and more approachable." And I
Yes.
don't know. I love that about what you do. So I just that
Yeah.
totally connected with me.
So going off of that, you made me think of something. So, like, I have to say, the most mind-blowing thing was when, like, multiple top dancers would, like, respond to my stuff and say they relate to that. And that led to conversations. And, back in my, like, when I was competing, I really did see, like, top dancers as people who just wouldn't give me the time of day. They'd want nothing to do with me. They probably think I'm just a loser. But I think part of that was there was this like creepy. inspirational fandom type world of the internet back then, where people would be like taking random photos of their peers, editing them with a filter, and then adding a random inspirational quote. Or like I'd see things reshared like, oh, this person is literally perfect. I want to be her. And it's like I'd see that and I'd be like, well, I don't think anyone wants to be me. But it was just so completely mind blowing to talk to different top dancers and realize, like, oh, wait, they're just people like me. They just happen to be very accomplished at Irish dance. And I think that's something I want to reiterate on my page. It's like, separate the dancing from the person behind it. Because if you, let's say you watch a video of like a world champion dancer, which both of you are, let's say you watch a video and you can look at that video, you can admire the dancing like that is an exceptional work of art on the stage. You can see that. You can also see a video of someone dancing very well and like use it to see how you want to improve your dancing. Like, oh, this is a level of dancing I can aspire to. I can try to move my feet like this. That's a very valuable tool. Where it comes damaging is if you extend it to like, oh, not that person is an excellent dancer. I want to aspire to get my dancing to that level too. I want to be that person because their life must be perfect because they can dance like that. Because once we get off stage, like we're all the same. We have
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
backstories. Some of us dance better than others. Some of us have titles, others don't. And, you know, dancers who win things, like they deserve that. Those accomplishments absolutely deserve to be celebrated, but we're all people.
Totally. And there's so many things that you're saying that I love. I yeah, I think we are we are all a lot more alike than we are different, regardless of like if you're winning things or not recalling at things or whatever. It's like the common denominator is that we all love Irish dancing, and we don't also even have to all love it in the same way. I think we've touched on that already in this conversation. You might be like you, Una, and myself and Megan, I think, are both like you in this regard. Is like our dancing for the love of it does involve that level of intensity. And that is, for me, I totally resonated with what you were saying. It was like, I loved the intensity of it. I loved the challenge of it. And I think a lot of other people feel that way too. But that doesn't mean that's the only way to love Irish dancing. Like you could love Irish dancing in a different way. It's just like I just want to go to class and chat with my
Yeah,
friends and like run my hornpipe once, like
yeah,
whatever, and all of that is great. And my mind is also going to like what you were saying is, yeah, you might watch a world champion set, like watch them do it on stage at the Worlds and go, wow, they're really furthering our art form. Like, what a
yes.
beautiful demonstration of excellence in Irish dancing. For sure. That's definitely a way that that person's contributing to the evolution of Irish dancing. But I would highly argue that, like, what you're doing is a contribution to the evolution of Irish dancing from like a social community um connection type of way, but also, your step videos and your dress like creations and all of that. And yeah, like maybe some of it's more on the you might call it like out there side, not something that you would see on stage or whatever. But you know what? Inspiration comes in places that maybe you don't expect it. And who knows who sees those videos or those dress ideas or whatever, and then that actually does get spun into something that does end up hitting the stage one day, right? And that's kind of really amazing that we all can contribute to this thing that is the common thing is the Irish dancing. It's this living, breathing art form that we all find this connection with, but we can all contribute to it in our own unique ways. And I think that that is like actually so magical and so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like I think what I like to get across is that like, there's not just one way to approach it. And if you are not getting what you want out of dance, you can change it. So, for example, for me, like, I think if you see someone as involved in dance as I am, you're like, oh, you retired when you were 18? Like, that seems, it's like, obviously you love dance. Why would you retire so young? It's like, well, I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. I wasn't, I knew that had I stayed doing what I was doing, it would have been just years of the same, showing up at Worlds, not recalling, just like my dancing, staying at the same level. And it's like, I'm not going to put all that effort to just stay the same and not be able to experience life because of that. So I think, I still find ways to challenge myself independently. Now, I don't have it in me to compete. I don't think my body wants me to do that. I think I've hurt my knees and ankles enough. I don't have time to dedicate to it in a way that I would feel satisfying for me. But one way I found the challenge is, well, first I did the all the grade exams, which required me to learn the traditional sets. I loved that. I not the grade exams, those are stressful. I loved learning the trad sets because as someone who started at an age where I was too old to ever have to do a trad set, I never learned a trad set. And it's such a different way of dancing, very focused on rhythm rather than athleticism. And I really enjoyed learning those. One thing that I like to challenge myself now by doing is getting old videos of dancers, from early 2000s, the 90s, and learning old style choreography. That is so fun to me. And from learning those, that teaches me new ways of movements, which then I incorporate into like my improv steps. And in these past few years, I've gotten much better at moves that I never did as a competitor. Like when I competed, I was terrible at rocks. I didn't know how to do a cross key. Like I never had a cross key in my step. I did not know how to do them. I learned how to do them a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now I love them. And
And
like,
you're like finding videos and inspiration and like learning from that. And what a great idea. Like we should all do that more. Like that's a great exercise. I love that.
yeah, so it's like I think a lot of the mainstream inspiration is telling you, you know, you have to compete. You have to keep going until you win the title. And if you don't, it's because you didn't try hard enough. But then after you win the title, you have to want to open a dance school or you have to want to be in Lord of the Dance or Riverdance. And not everyone wants that. Some people just want to move on from the competitive world, I guess live a normal life where you sit behind a desk and answer emails, but then have time to play in the studio at night and make up your own steps. That's what I do. And there's something that I love so much about just having some time to myself in the studio. Something about it just makes me feel normal. Like dance has gotten me through so many life transitions, like moving to college. That was a huge transition for me. It was my first time being out of the house, having an Irish dance team and where I could just play around with steps. That was the first time I saw dance as something that really just helped, I guess, like regulate me and make me feel like myself.
Totally.
Mhm.
No, I think you're so onto something in that, we really can have Irish dancing in all of our lives in the way that like we all want to do that. And I think you're such an inspiration to me, and I know you are to Megan and so many dancers. And I think we're all really grateful for the content you put out there because it's needed. Like I think yes, we've said this however many times in this conversation, but we all do love Irish dancing. And just like anything else, it can always be better. And it's always great to have new perspectives and just challenge the norms of things because I think personally like that's the way that things should go in order for things to continuously be getting better. So I think we all owe you a big thank you for doing that for the Irish dancing community. And we just hope that you keep creating content and keep inspiring people like us and plenty of other dancers. So it's been, I mean, the three of us could probably talk about Irish dancing for a very long
Oh,
time.
yes.
It's been so awesome having this conversation, and hopefully we can have some more, continue this chat, continue this conversation, continue these ideas.
Yeah.
This has been an inspiration for whoever's watching this. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us in this episode of the New View podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
If you have any ideas about future guests we should interview or want to connect, you can find us on Instagram at newview.collective or email us at newviewcollective.mm@gmail.com.